Good morning, everyone. I hope you all are having a most blessed day so far and that you continue to have a blessed day as the day goes on. It's time for your daily Bible verse, and today we're going to read Matthew chapter 5, verses 31 through 32. It has been said, anyone who divorces his wife must give her a certificate of divorce. But I tell you that anyone who divorces his wife, except for marital unfaithfulness, causes her to become an adulteress, and anyone who marries a divorced woman commits adultery. So this is talking about divorce here. And only Matthew actually talks about this. None of the other Gospels mention this. What Jesus is saying here, in the old Mosaic law, you would give a certificate of divorce to divorce somebody, And Jesus, we see it mentioned in the Gospels here, He's like, yeah, Moses let you do that because your hearts were hard, But God never intended for it from the beginning, And it's so interesting, The Christian divorce rate is sadly just as high as the world's is. And, you ask people for the reasons of divorce, it's even more said that it's the same reasons that the world's does, narcissism, physical or mental abuse, cheating, sleeping around, with both males and with females too, yet, and he's saying that anyone who divorces his wife, except for marital unfaithfulness, which would be unfaithful in the relationship, whether that would be cheating on them, not willing to work on it, causes her to become an adulteress, and anyone who marries the divorced woman commits adultery. Now, I want to say something here because I know there's many people that are considering divorce here or are divorced because they have been emotionally or physically abused. That is not what he is talking about here. If you are being physically or emotionally abused, get out of there. Get out of that situation. God does not want you to be there. So many people misunderstand that and say, well, because God says do not divorce, I have to stay in this toxic relationship. No, you don't. That is a bunch of nonsense. And the fact that people want to preach that is nonsense too. No, God does not want you in that toxic situation. Get out of there if you're being physically or emotionally abused. This is so misunderstood here. But here's the thing. You should try to make it work with your spouse. Marriage nowadays is not a sacred thing, even in the Christian community anymore, and it's sad. It's meant to be a sacred relationship between a man and a woman, and with God in the center. And it's interesting nowadays how that's been so twisted around even in the Christian community, God isn't in the center of the marriage, and I'll tell you one thing, that's why a lot of them fail. To anybody who's struggling with narcissistic husbands, wives, whatever, just know that God is with you. He sees what's going on, and He will never leave you, will never forsake you. He's got you. Y'all have a blessed day. Jesus loves you. I do too, but not like He does, and I'll talk to you soon.